Okay. Good morning.
Is it on?
Is it on? It's on. Good morning. Welcome to day 15 of the Soulful Heart vlog series. We're covering the 7 key areas of life that Soulful Heart offers and reflects on. Today is the environmental. It happens to coincide with Earth Day.
Very cool.
It.
We didn't plan that. It's just a synchronicity.
Yeah, too cool. We're calling it Mother Earth Day. And we've thought about doing this outside, and the outside is like right there. We're sitting in our RV and looking out the windshield, not 25 feet from where I'm sitting, is Wilson Creek in this gorgeous setting. And three months ago and a bit, we moved out of our home and moved into an older RV that we purchased as part of our transition. And it's proved very interesting and enlivening and challenging.
No, it's finally getting warmer.
Yeah.
So that's looking forward to that.
Totally.
But we wanted to do
I moved
this video.
Jillian from California, and it's been touch and go with the wet coast climate here and the colder temperatures.
Yeah. But it would have been wonderful to do this topic outside. And we actually just added this area of life maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
Even though it has become increasingly important to us, and we even moved from the city to the coast here because we needed to be by water and nature. It was really clear to us that for our emotional and spiritual healing personally and what we were offering with Soulful Heart, that we had to be in an environment that was supported by natural surroundings. And
you were always more in tune with that, and you would bring it. I think we need the water to support us. And to some part of me, that was still a bit of a foreign concept. And now that I feel it, I so feel how that is so true, that we've needed to be supported by living in proximity to a body of water. And now we have the sound of water coming into our ears, and the visual of a creek. And we can walk 5 minutes to the ocean here in beautiful Davis Bay, and that really feels like I don't see us ever choosing to live away from proximity to water.
yeah, and I think one of the pieces that comes in for, and environmental is a huge area, of course, but what we're saying is that, do you have a personal relationship with your environment? Do you have a conscious relationship with your environment? And if you do have a conscious relationship, things like sustainability, taking walks or hiking, or it's not something you do. It's just something that's natural. And when you think about how unnatural, I was telling Wayne yesterday, like, maybe we need to live in a teepee, or an RV almost feels like a teepee in another way. But there was something that we're so, it's so unnatural, our cities and the concrete and the drywall and the structure we've set up that isolates and separates us from nature, which then allows our false self to abuse nature and animals.
We've so built our way of life around this false
Separate
idea
self.
of the separate self, the distinct and separate self, when and our religion picked that up. Big
That this
time.
is hell,
All the 3 patriarchal religions
Yes.
deeply picked this up, this idea of spirit and the split between spirit and matter, that which is evil and that which is good. Dirt is not dirty. We're learning, but that to feel that we are connected and inseparably connected with all of life in every cell in the universe, that we are just a makeup of cells carrying life, is something I'm still wrapping my brain around, but really more my heart and my lifestyle around, just living that reality, letting it in. There's still a big conditioning of separation that makes up, in definitely in profound ways, it still makes up and addresses part of my lifestyle, but it's morphing and changing and continuing.
It feels to me like people talk about some of their happiest times were in nature, summer camp or camping or visiting a farm or hiking There's just a natural aeration. It's nature aerating us. It's a gift from the Divine Mother in that way. And I just feel like in this transition, in this global economic and environmental transition that we're going through, this collapse of so many things, one place we can go to is natural settings to get some sense of grounding. Literally grounds us. And I think it'll be imperative.
And having an animal in our life to care for, who I think is on the screen there, Coda hiding in the corner. Yesterday he barked for about 30 seconds during our video. But taking him out to the forest almost daily for a good long walk has been an integral part of our life as well.
Animal medicine is huge. And it's something that we've just organically brought into SoulFullHeart. We've also brought in looking at animal totems. And when animals or birds or creatures or anything just keep appearing to you, to feel into what they're offering you. Yeah,
yesterday I think it was yesterday, I just stepped out to walk Coda for his morning pee thing out the door, and there, not 30 feet away, was a blue heron standing in the creek. And it took flight, and then we walked a little farther, and it took flight again, and even a third time, and circled around the campsite. And up in the trees was I assume a male and a female eagle come and lodge in the top of the tree directly above us.
Yeah, we're in eagle land here.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
They just stood there and they let us just take them in for a while and gawk, and then eventually they made their way across the campground. And to feel every animal that comes across your path and the animal medicine, the message that they bring, was really timely for what I was feeling that morning. I really felt supported and given a message.
Nature can't, and animals can't help but be connected to us. That's their consciousness. It's us that isn't connected to them. And as you start to connect, people kind of tout this animal psychic stuff. To me, that's all woo-woo. It's natural that they're sending us pictures, that they're giving us messages, that we're meant to give them messages. There's a whole communal, reciprocal relationship that's been lost. And as I feel what's natural for my soul, it's much more about having that communal relationship, but also stones as well, and how much they offer us in terms of healing and homeopathic medicine versus this pharmaceutical medicine. So I guess it's just natural to my soul to go back to some of those roots. And I think that's growing. There's an increasing amount of people waking up to that.
Yeah. We're really in flux, is what you're saying. Like, even though we just added the environmental as a key area of life that we wish to work with in the clients we serve, because anything that doesn't include all the key areas of life is compartmentalized.
Right.
We'll help you in the emotional, but we won't deal with the physical. Hello.
Yeah.
Or, and so our relationship with the environmental is obviously hugely a key area of life.
And the underdevelopment of it is why we're in the position we're in terms of climate change and this horrific place we're in.
Yeah, and then so feeling the shift, which is the great shift in a great death and a great rebirth that we are in the middle of right now, collectively, we're going to need nature to support us. Obviously, all of our life comes from nature, but being in nature, relating to nature, feeling nature as intrinsically a part of us is only what's going to support us through this collapse that we are in the middle of, not about to come. We are in the middle of it right now. And I just wanted to presence one piece that I've been taking in the last few days, a really heavy one from somebody I discovered online recently. His name is Guy McPherson, and his message is so deep about the most recent shifts and changes in the last couple of years around climate change. And it's the message that he brings is so sobering that it causes us to feel that we're actually in a state of hospice, the metaphor being like someone who's received a diagnosis that they have a terminal cancer and the doctor says you have no more than, so many months to live, and how all of life changes.
Mm-hmm.
All of life becomes about meaning. How are you being in this moment? What are you feeling? What energy are you putting out? What energy are you taking in? Because there's this very short time. And Guy's message actually lays out a credible, gut-wrenching, but credible and gut-wrenching picture that climate change is in an exponential, unstoppable increase right now. Mm-hmm. And that life as we know it won't be the same in just a few short years, and even lays out a scenario for the possibility of near-term human extinction in our generation, in our time. And so that's even a way more severe picture than we've held or been conscious of. We've embraced nature, but now embracing nature's not going to, the earth is not going to die.
Unless we blow it up, the plant, nature's going to continue. Mm-hmm. It's us as a species. It's
our support systems that rely on nature that are interfered with. And so
this is very hard to digest.
When you're ready for it, I invite you to go check out Guy McPherson.
I'll put it
here. And
but that's where Wayne, just his soul tends to dive in deeply mm-hmm. into something and sort of absorb it. And then we were talking about this last night, and then I'm kind of the one that then feels into, well, what do we do about that? Or how mm-hmm. does that impact SoulFullHeart? So we're still just feeling, for me, I can't resonate with just a survivalist mentality. Because I feel like every moment is a gift and meant to be taken in and appreciated, and that it's okay to feel joy in the midst of that picture.
Right.
And then actually it brings, like you said, a more poignant perspective and feeling of life, appreciation of life. I was saying to you this morning that anything that brings us a sense of our own mortality, which our false self doesn't really want us to feel that, is a gift. Mm-hmm. So whether his timeline is exactly accurate, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
It's more that I can feel the damage that we've done, the industrial age has done, and
mm-hmm.
that our disconnect has done. Mm-hmm. Our disconnect from our heart, our disconnect from our soul, our disconnect from animals, our disconnect from the planet, our disconnect from our bodies.
Mm-hmm. And all the gratuitous bullshit.
Our disconnect from the divine.
Yes. All the gratuitous bullshit around Earth Day, it tends to be a greenwashing by different, where we feel it's now in vogue to show some kind of a consciousness about the environment, really flies in the face of where we're really at as a species and what we really need.
I would say it's a start, but it's not a solution.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the minimal start of awakening to something.
Yeah.
It's like when you start eating better, choosing
mm-hmm.
healthier food. There's got to be the steps.
Yeah.
Toward that.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't think most people can take in this picture that you're offering mm-hmm. in one swallow. Like it's steps toward it, of awakening mm-hmm. consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair?
That's fair. Mm. Did you have some of the points from the website that you wanted
I
to
think
share?
we've covered them. The one I think the one thing I want to bring in again, which we talked about when we talked about physical, just last night we were at a restaurant and we asked them if they had any vegan desserts, and the waitress didn't even know what vegan meant. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? And I was just shocked, because I thought it was enough in the consciousness now that people would know, and especially a waitress.
Yeah, so if you don't know what it means, I'm sure you don't have any.
But and then she asked you something like, why did you do that? Mm-hmm. And I wanted to bring in this piece about being connected to animals, the way that they're treated, in this violent way that they're raised and killed and offered to us as food. I just don't feel that you can be a conscious person and in your authentic self and be okay with that and digest that.
Be okay
There's
with
something inside of you, a part of you that is still self-violent. There's still a violence going on inside of you. And when I say that, I'm not judging that self-violence. I'm inviting you to feel into that as a possibility. And then when I feel the environment, nothing has more environmental impact right now than cattle raising.
Yes. Confined animal feeding operation is a concentration camp.
But the methane that's
animals.
produced is more than cars. Most people don't realize that.
Yeah.
So when they're being conscious about using their bags at the grocery store,
Mhm.
it would be much better if they stopped eating red meat.
Right. Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth talked about all the impacts of CO2, and grossly off his radar is the.
I don't think it was off his radar.
It wasn't in the video.
Right.
The whole I think it's 17% of CO2 emissions or something. It's some staggering number is related to meat. And,
So if you really care about the environment, it's an aspect, and about your own, what you're emotionally digesting, then I would really, really feel into it. And it also, it's becoming so easy these days to transition to that.
Right. And this thing of holding ourselves as a superior species, and feeding off, cannibalizing off of another species. Wow. Where did we get that kind of hubris from? And I guess I'm sounding a little self-righteous. I mean, I've been a meat eater all of my life until just a few short years ago. And it was a one step at a time process.
That's what I'm saying about one step.
It wasn't some light turning on and all of a sudden life being very different.
We have some movie reviews, like Vegucated is a great movie to get you started in your consciousness raising around this. Because this isn't, there's some people, this is their sole passion, is bringing plant-based lifestyle. This is one aspect of what you're getting, is a very big thing we're bringing. That's part of our journey, and I feel we've really been guided that this isn't just about what we're putting in our mouths. It isn't just a food choice.
I think another video that's coming to my memory is documentaries Meet the Truth, MEAT, Meet the Truth.
Food Matters is another good one.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of, I feel like whatever aspect of this you want to take on from us, or that we're inviting you into, it's obviously very big and can go very deep. But I would also feel really satisfied if I just help someone transition to a plant-based diet. That would be something.
Yeah. It's huge.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we're done.
I think we're done. I'm remembering one last piece that Guy pointed out, was that we are currently losing 200 species every day. It just seems unimaginable to me. And that another piece is that we add 250,000 people every day to the population, and that the population doubled since 1990.
Wow.
Very memorable time in my lifetime, and it's scheduled to double again at this present rate in the next, I believe, 15 years.
Wow.
It's just mind-boggling to feel the population, even at the time of my birth, is such a fraction of what it is now. And so we are in some exponential, huge transition and change. And just want to invite you to feel where your relationship with nature is. Do you feel it as one and the same with the nature of your physicality, your being, your emotionality, your spirituality? And in SoulFullHeart, we want to very much recognize that as a key area of your growth, and serve you in embracing where that is missing.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a heavy one.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. Does that mean we've covered all 7?
We have.
We've covered all 7. What's next?
Well, I think we go back to, I mean, we just see what arises. but
We see what
we
arises.
definitely just started touching
Mhm.
on some of these.
Yeah. This was like the intro to our vlog series to give a foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to feel things that are more current, what's moving in our heart. Maybe some angst or conflicts that we're having, included all of the above.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Well.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, look at Coda Bear.
I think he has to go potty. What are you doing? Were we talking about you?
Okay, now hit this big button.
Were we talking about you? We kind of were, huh? We were talking about animals?
21 minutes.